Okay. Alrighty. Hey, buddy. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright. Don't beg. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Oops.
Well, there goes the light.
If you're watching this, the light just when it's still a story, right? Yeah. Better.
Well, let's hope. We
Let's
don't really
hope.
know. We should
You
probably
want the check?
I'll
Want the
check.
check?
Yeah.
Well, we
Let's see. That's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. Alright.
One.
Hey, XYZ fam.
Hey, XYZ fam.
I know it's been a minute since you've seen the puppy.
The puppy are us. It's great to be here. Our light just died on us because we haven't used it in so long, and well, we haven't used it in so long. I've been using it and I did not charge it. So
That sounds very Zara-like, right?
But
Some things have not changed.
we'll be doing a live update Q&A video today. You dropped some questions for us. We got some questions on Instagram. We're just going to do a little chit chat, catch up. So if you're interested in this kind of video, come along with us.
This is where the music, the intro plays. And
Yeah.
I go again.
You don't even remember.
Oh my goodness, guys, it's been so
It's
long.
been so long.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you so much. We've gotten all the messages every time we see you out in public or on the
Yeah.
social media streets, whether it be on the other platforms, because I'm much more active on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Zara.Marie. You see a lot of what's happening there. Zandre sees a lot of you in person.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure. We've been doing a lot. So
And for everybody who has asked me why you're not seeing any videos, well, most of you ask me that while I'm at work. And you see, the reason is I'm at work. I've just kind of been at work, you know.
Yes.
So that's why, because you're seeing me there, that's why we're not doing any videos.
absolutely. And one of the first questions we got was, "Are you done with YouTube?"
No, I wouldn't say we're done with YouTube. I don't know that we'll ever be done with YouTube. But doing YouTube the way we have in the past
Yeah.
probably won't be sustainable for the next 6 years. Well, 5 no.
Yeah, because we just finished 1 year of almost finishing. You're
Just
in your
about.
final rotation
Yeah.
for first year presidency.
Yeah.
So we don't think we're done with YouTube. However, we remember we used to post 2 times a week. Then we're going down to once a week.
Then 2 times a
then
month.
2 times a month. I don't know what the cadence will be, and it definitely. We're just trying to find footing
Yeah.
for what we don't at this point. We really can't tell what YouTube will look like because YouTube content takes a little bit more time and effort. Short form on Instagram or TikTok, or it's easy, it's quick. I do a lot of that by myself, but for YouTube it takes a little bit more, and then the channel it's both of us. So
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really have that much to do. You know, like, I'm not doing much more than just going
to
home
work.
and coming
There-
back. So there isn't really much to see.
yeah, our adventure right now is our
Yeah.
heads are down, both of us are working, and that's just it. And
And
we can't film.
Can I
Like,
say
you
something
can't
about
film.
that?
Yeah.
Both of us heads are down, right? So Zara's in the middle of a launch, also scaling her company, which is moving really, really rapidly currently.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moving parts right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're grateful. We're grateful for the progress, no doubt about
We're
it.
grateful. It's just a hard. It's just a
But it's just a
season.
tough season,
Yeah.
you know?
And then I think a lot of the people who you watch online who can post consistent content, that's their full-time job.
Yeah.
We've never, I don't know, we've never had YouTube as even a side hustle. Like, it was a thing, like, we get like a money here and there for YouTube, but we don't earn at all from YouTube. We've never wanted content to be a full-time gig for us.
Yeah.
And because of that, obviously when real life calls, then we have to take precedent. Real life has to take precedent.
Yeah. So that's really been it.
But you can catch me up on Instagram. I'm always over there. Somebody asked if a video will be out soon. So this is a video with us. How much does a small wedding cost? My boyfriend and I will be married in some years to come. Your advice, please.
Why?
So
it
relative.
varies greatly.
Yeah, it's so relative. And when I say relative, you can get a small wedding at RGD. Like, you can go to RGD and can do a wedding and get some food for $20,000 with 10 people, and you can also have a 10 people wedding for $1 million. to be real honest. So it's a wide range. I just think that you need to be clear about what you have to spend and then move from there. So if your budget is 100,000 or 50,000 or 20,000 or whatever that is, then you move from there. When I say currency, I'm talking JMD, not USD.
And to give a little bit of advice that you never asked for, I'd recommend that you and your partner sit down and ask yourselves what's most important in this stage of life for you. And make sure you're prioritizing that. And the wedding is a part of it, but it can't be all there is to it. And then even when it comes down to the wedding itself, what means the most to you for the wedding? So for us, for example, for Zara it was the decor, on which we ended up spending a significant chunk of the budget.
I mean, we could afford it though.
We could afford it and it was a priority. As you guys may have realized, we never went on an elaborate honeymoon. We honeymooned in Jamaica. With Agustazo's deal.
Yeah, it was a coupon.
Yeah, it was like a coupon.
We got like the worst room.
Yeah, literally there was no view. You opened the thing and it was just
But it was amazing though.
No, it was great. I enjoyed it.
And some people didn't get a honeymoon. So I think that's why I would say it's so relative. Because you're also giving this ivory tower advice. You're like, oh, let me be relatable. You know how much people can't afford to go on a honeymoon? Even with Agustazo's deal?
But I guess that's the point that I'm making though. That you have to find out what's important to you. I know people who spent a lot more money on like wedding rings than what we spent. We spent almost nothing compared to what other people would spend on wedding rings. So food was a big part of it for me. And my father actually ended up giving me a goat and chicken. And so then we ended up not spending as much because we got some help there. But it just matters what you prioritize and then shift the funds towards that. You don't need to fit the mold that anybody else has created.
Great advice, baby. I see you miss talking to you too.
I have not been in this frame of mind as in rested, like no bags under my eyes. I've been sleeping since yesterday. I got off work yesterday evening. Didn't go in any at all today. I took a few phone calls, but that was it. This is not me on a regular day. On a regular day, I'm a zombie. So I'm very, very grateful for this sit-down opportunity.
To just be present, you haven't been present in our lives. So
emotionally present. Physically present, I'm here maybe 15% of the time. So,
20.
Maybe 20. Maybe 20%.
We'll have some rice on the stove. So if you see 100, move on. Next question. How's life as a dog mom? Oh my gosh. Yo-Yo is my best friend. Yo-Yo, come here. Come say hello to the vlog. Come say hello to the vlog. Say hi. So this little chop here is one of my favorite parts. Also, where the dry out?
You just dry out and top off.
Andre, forgot for cover the rice. Yeah, that's why we should have used the rice cooker. So Yo-Yo has been one of the joys of this season of my life, and I think because Andre works a lot these days, and he just brings out the joy. He's very annoying though, and we fuss and fight all the time, but he has brought a lot of joy to our household. As you would have seen here and there, if you follow me on any other social platform. We got like 4 questions asking how's the puppy. So the puppy is fine. He is healthy, he's happy, he's thriving. Yo-Yo has started bringing in income in the household. We have gotten like 2 brand deals for him so far. So it's very interesting. You know how Zandra and I think. So having him work to pay for his own food has been a delight. And if you are watching this and you are a brand, you can go ahead and if you want to partner with this cute little face, show them in face, man. Show them in face. And then we also want to do a shameless plug right here for ProPet.
Yes.
Yo-Yo is ProPet's ambassador. You need to get ProPet for your dogs, right? ProPet is a very inexpensive dog food. You can find it in supermarkets island-wide, and he loves it. You see I'm nice and healthy and fat and chunky? Even with him like a pump face, ProPet has been it for us, and he is very proud to be their first ambassador.
Suffice it to say, Propet, it's kibble, right? It's
Yeah.
kibble. It's kibble. But
Kibble meaning dry dog.
dry dog food.
Mhm.
But what we've been able to do is just like add water to it sometimes, add a little bit of like coconut milk powder and then put the water.
Sometimes
So-
we add like a chicken to the top.
Yeah,
or-
so literally it's the base for all of his meals.
Yeah.
We just kind of top up here and there with little
Yeah.
different things to keep the variety. And he hasn't run out of interest in it. We used to use another brand before, and in just a couple of weeks we had to
he
change
would,
it because he stopped wanting it.
Mhm.
So, anyway.
All right.
What's bad?
Next question. Do you guys have your own home? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have our
It's
own
been
home.
a journey.
The home owning journey has been interesting.
Like when you think about everything that we've
We
been
have a
through all
settee.
day,
I don't know if they know this settee.
they don't know the settee.
I don't remember
What do you
if
mean
we.
by earphone? Oh,
I don't
sorry.
remember if the last time we did a vlog we didn't have any furniture. We have a settee now.
Yeah.
We have a bedroom set. We have bars. What type of things we're going with, guys? We're still not on TV yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
We have
Priorities.
plans. It's been interesting.
It's been an interesting journey because you guys know I'm not really a things person, right? Wait, are we sure that's recording? That would be a good time to check, right?
It was your job to check if it was recording.
Yeah, it recorded. Right. So you guys know I'm not really a things person. But this home ownership journey has had me spending a lot of money on things. But it's because these are the things that really make a home and they mean a lot to Zara. I mean, some of the stuff obviously mean a lot to me too, like the settee and so on.
Hold on, let me
But
tell
then
the guys one joke.
the plant and the
So we moved in, right? I remember that we moved in there. It was a blank slate. We bought the apartment, and we knew that we wanted to buy an apartment more, versus renting one, because we were moving back to Kingston, and renting Kingston is pretty expensive, and we got the opportunity to purchase the apartment, and we just jumped at the opportunity. With the help of the Almighty God, because we didn't think we could afford it. Anyways, long story short, we bought it, and obviously we down to zero again. So now we'll have to now start from scratch again. Which
you guys know.
You've seen us start from scratch over and over.
Yeah.
So we have to start scratch again to furnish it. And so we buy the bed, and then
the bed was not the first thing.
No.
we bought.
The bed was not the first thing. The first thing we bought, I think, was kitchen stove.
Yeah,
And we bought
so-
a mattress, and we're sleeping on the floor on the mattress, remember?
Yeah, we got a deal from an Indian man with with the kitchen appliances and the mattress for literally a lot less than it would have been if we had to buy all of the things individually, right? So we got a deal. Now we spent out all of the money buying that. So when we came, we were just like, we look at the bank account, it's literally down to almost $0. But we have a mattress on the ground, and we spread out the mattress.
It was a very
And we got to
comfortable
sleep
mattress.
on the mattress.
Yeah.
And it was just such a blissful feeling.
Yeah.
Like having no money in your bank account has never felt so good.
Because you have property,
Yeah.
it was nice, it was good. And we've sat on a lot of mattresses and floors in other countries.
Yeah.
So when we were in Asia, because that's very common in Asia, we went to a lot of Airbnbs where the mattress was on the floor, so it wasn't odd for us. But the joke, this is a joke. So we buy the bed, and that was good, and then we also push on it. It's a really nice sofa. It's a pull-out sofa, and has lots of different features, etc. Zandre goes, all right, we're done furnished now.
Yeah, it done furnished.
And I'm like, no, we have so many other things to get. And for me, I was like, really and truly, men and women, our brains work differently, because the man said, I have somewhere to sleep. I have somewhere, I'm not care about no other room, I'm not care about nowhere else.
But I'm now seated on a sofa.
Yeah, so
I
that
have a
was
bed.
enough. So yeah, so we do have a home. At what age will you guys start having children? We got a few children questions.
Guys, is it not obvious? We have a child. I'm joking. I'm definitely joking. Don't come at me. And yes, I know what Sister White says about dumb animals. But
Yeah, but hopefully as soon as we can afford the child.
hey, children are expensive enough.
Children are expensive.
Monetarily, yes, but also they take
They
emotional investment.
And when we say Zandre is not here, and when he's here, he's not present, it's really serious. And I think maybe that's kind of why I don't really get defensive anymore because I've learned how to deal with it. But I feel like I brought out of resentment when people ask me this because I'm like, you're not in my house. And I used to get resentment when people ask me for YouTube too, because for a while I used to feel like I was almost like kind of filed down to be a sense of entertainment when I had a real life issues dealing with. Like the fact that we were going through a really horrible transition where you were a shell of yourself and you could barely even show up for me, much less to show up for other people, right?
Yeah,
much less for children, but
exactly.
also like to show up to make vlogs for somebody's entertainment. And I know that, especially if you're watching this, I know that you didn't mean any harm, but people would say like, you're treating with body, and I'm like, fam, I'm trying to make sure that my husband doesn't have a mental breakdown. Like, I'm trying to make sure that when he's on the road driving, he don't run off because he hasn't slept in 3 days, you know? So I used to get defensive over those two questions because I'm like, my household needs help. And right now I'm asking God to help us to hold on. And you don't even know how I am. And I'm at one of my lowest points. And the only thing that you can ask is about children. You know?
Yeah.
So I used to get defensive about that question.
I know we see you guys all the time, and the question is usually, where are your videos? I'm not seeing you guys stop posting. But you know, sometimes it would be nicer to say, how are you guys? You know, are you guys okay? Haven't seen you in a minute. Is everything alright? You know, I'm just saying, and not just for us, but for other people who you know through the internet. It might be a little bit more tasteful to just find out if they're okay as people. Because we haven't always been okay. Like, there are days I come home and literally I just say, hi babe, and I just go to sleep. And then I wake up the next morning and I say, hey babe, morning. Bye.
Yeah.
Like,
and a week or 2 weeks will go by with that, and we haven't had a whole conversation in 2 weeks, and then that will be happening, and then life is happening.
Yeah.
So things still need to get done, decisions need to be made, but we can't even have a conversation. So those things happen, and this is not something that I think we alone deal with. I know that a lot of people who do vlogging and stuff like that, they deal with it because it almost feels like you're just for entertainment. And then when I can't, and that's why I always say I'm really happy we don't really rely on social media or anything like that to put money in our pockets, because it almost feels like people aren't very forgiving.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no room to say, my Friday nights are not the same anymore. Where have you been? It's like
our Friday nights have not been the same.
Our Friday nights have not been the same either, you know? And I really appreciate when we get the emails, the sweetest aunties, Auntie Cheryl especially, will have to big her up. She never forgets us, and she always emails in and she says, I'm praying for you.
Auntie Cherry.
Cherry. We have two. We have a Cheryl and we have a Cherry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Auntie
Cherry. She remembers every birthday. I don't know how.
Yeah, she literally email on the birthday or the anniversary. Yeah.
And I don't know how she remembers, but we love you and we appreciate you. And these are not people, we don't know any of these ladies in real life. Like,
and Elder Holmes, remember our anniversary out of nowhere, and you know, those little things.
Yeah, we really appreciate you. Okay, do you guys want to live overseas?
Look at us now.
I want to live in Singapore,
but not really.
Yeah.
So ideally, if Singapore was next door, I'd like to live in Singapore. But personally, it's a little too far and going to require a lot of rooting up. I feel like we're just starting to get settled for the first time in our lives. Our entire first few years of marriage have been very chaotic. This is the first semblance of normalcy.
First settling-ish.
And I mean, I don't know how long it will last. To be honest with you, we'll probably soon get up and move again. But at least for the next 5 years, I'm in residency, so we will be based in Kingston.
Yeah.
Don't know what will happen after that. We're open to the possibilities, but we've more or less, you know, weighed the pros and cons and said it's Jamaica at least for now.
For now, I think I would love to live somewhere safe. I don't feel safe in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And it's scary, especially as somebody who has a husband who a lot of times he's at work, and you know, sometimes I want a dog. I don't feel very safe here, and I think it's the cry of a lot of women here, so I'm not alone in this. So that's one of my only reservations. There are two things I don't love about Jamaica. I don't like the crime, and I do not like how people drive on the road.
Yeah.
But other than those two things, I love my country. I love being here. I love being close to family. And we always say, like, we aim to make more money, because if you have money in Jamaica, you live a very good life.
Jamaica Premium is nice.
Jamaica Premium is what we want to be a part of. So we strive to be there.
Yeah.
Not a life update, but when are we getting a Beyond the Bouquet brunch? Maybe never. So for those who don't know, Beyond the Bouquet is a wife-based podcast I did one season of. Hopefully we'll get some funding to do season 2 and 3 of it soon, but podcasts are very expensive. I cannot keep up with the expense of a podcast, but I tried to. You know, one thing was she's gonna try it out. She's gonna try it out. So we did a brunch in March, our first. What the brunch name again?
Dear
Church Girl brunch. The Kingston edition was in March. The Mandeville edition will be in June. So we're in full planning mode for that one. And then the Montego Bay one will be in October. So that's been very fun. The tickets
It's been fun being on the sidelines.
The tickets get sold out in like 2 or 3 hours. They're done. Because I do try to keep it anywhere between 50 and 65. Right now we have a list of almost 80 people, because everybody keep on saying,
I thought we were capping the list at 50, then it went up to 60, and we said, okay, at most 70.
Yeah, but then the people them didn't say, I'm no spot left, and I couldn't say no. Some Mandeville was going to be bigger than Kingston, because I just couldn't say no, and it's been such a blessing. I don't know if I'll ever have a Beyond the Bouquet brunch, because financially that might not be the best thing to do. That's one. Plus two, I think having the mixture of single women and married women and engaged and divorced women and widowed women, I think having that mix has been really great. But I do see subcultures being developed and people doing their own things. So you're having wife friends and you guys decide to do brunch, then that would be completely different.
Right.
How are you guys?
Thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking.
In this moment, we're great.
Yeah.
We went for a walk. That's why we're in, what do you call them clothes here? Athleisure. And that's why the puppy is now going to sleep, because he's now tired. Yeah, we had a nice little evening.
Yeah.
And we got some sleep, and Zara got some work done. So
yeah, I did not. Today's Labor Day, but I did not leave. I did not take a break today. I worked all day today. But I'm okay. We're working on different projects. I'm launching a membership for the church girls called Abide. If you're interested in learning about Abide, it's for the woman who wants to grow in their faith, in their profession, and in their personal life. So your spiritual life, your personal life, or if you're growing a business. So that's going to be launching in June as well. I have a founders rate. That's going to be soft launching. And just because you're watching this YouTube video, if you might get access to that founders rate. So go ahead and send me a message and we can talk.
Yo, I've heard so much about Abide. I dream about Abide in my sleep these days. So
we've been doing a lot. So you've heard a lot.
Yo, it's like I eat, dream,
Zara's business ideas.
Wake up is another idea. There's something going on underneath all of this here, something going on under there. But Abide has been the most topical one since recently, and she's really been building it out. One thing about Zara, if she think about it too long, she gonna start working on it, and if she start working on it, it's going to come to fruition. Can promise you that after it work, it's going to continue to work, because once you prove that it works, then at that point she goes, this was good, this was lovely, but is this the hill I want to die on? But
how does this serve my life?
How does this serve my life? But honestly, this Abide one has been in the making for as long as I've known her.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
She always talks about how she likes to work in women's ministry, and how young ladies are her place and are her people. I think
women now, it has evolved, because
that's true.
I feel like I'm a woman now.
Yeah. But when I just met you, it was young girls. But then their church girl evolved into more than just a series on Instagram. Yeah. And then she kept on talking about wanting to start a membership, but the time was just never right. Yeah. Then she wanted to do an event, and then the brunch happened, and the brunch was such a success, and everybody's like, I think now is the time. So honestly, I think this one is gonna stick.
Yeah,
I really think this one is gonna stick.
thank you for that. I
yeah.
appreciate the affirmation.
Yeah, and you want to jump on her because this is her merging more than just, you know, passion alone or business alone. Like, this is literally her putting what she does day to day for clients who are paying her good money into her passion project that normally costs us money, good money, you know. You know, she's putting them together now to create a self-sustaining ecosystem that serves the people that she loves and want to work with. And honestly, it's just a beautiful, beautiful match made in Zara's brain heaven. And
it's so funny how you say my passion projects really cost us.
Oh, you know, they all do. But to be fair, both of us, you know, spend money on a lot of like passion things. But
my passion stuff are usually content, and I've been doing social media for 10 years, for a decade. I've never sold anything to the audience before or the community. The store
sold stuff.
And then the brunch.
What did I say? Journal.
Oh yeah. But the journal really make no money. The journal is like a token of my appreciation.
Right. And then we've given away more journals than we've sold.
Yeah. So my passion projects usually don't make money. This membership will make money if it does well, which I think it will. But I also think that sometimes when you're poor, it's going to be cheap, it's going to be low ticket. Founders rate $35, and then regular rate $50 a month, and you get business, you get lifestyle, you get spiritual, and you just pay that. But I think I'm at the point now where I know I need to hire help.
Yeah.
I need to hire people to help me to do these things. And I also know that if I can empower more people to make more money, then all of us can be wealthy together. And you guys know I identify as a wealthy Christian woman whose mandate is to go and spread the word across the world. How else would that if we don't have money? You think Breeze alone can carry the gospel to the of course of the world? We need more rich Christians, right? And you know, I strongly believe in that. So
we like to think that we're rich, just having a cash flow problem.
Right. So we're rich.
You know,
we identify as wealthy. We just not reached there yet.
Yeah, but we're working on it.
Yeah, you're working on it.
And, and in the meantime, we're trying to do it in a sustainable way.
Yeah.
And certainly not contravening the principles that we want to live by. And I really think that this membership puts everything together for us.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I appreciate that. Okay, so we didn't even answer the what age we'll start to have kids question. We kind of just start rant.
Yeah.
But we are 28 this year, so hopefully anywhere between So kids, you can't really plan for them, right? Because suppose you can't really tell yourself, say, okay, you're going to have kids at 30 but 30 to 35. You know, my husband is a doctor, so he always reminds me that we're high risk during that time.
No, as in
after 35.
After 35 is advanced maternal age.
So we'll try to have them before 35.
Yeah, that's all the promise that we
that's
can
all
make.
the promise. We'll try to have them before 35. All right, and we got a lot of the same stuff. Somebody asked if I can do a women's Bible study. We will be doing it in Abide. So if you want to join, you can. How are you guys mentally? I think we answered that mental thing already. We have high days, we have low days, we'll have days where we're just trying to hold on. Yo-Yo has been very good for my mental health.
Same, actually.
Yeah, he has been very, very good for my mental health.
Inserts clip of Yo-Yo's excitement when we get home. Oh wait, no, we're not editing this. We can't insert it.
All right. Where on your list of priorities does YouTubing fit these days? If it's at the bottom, do you see that moving up or not so much?
That's a very nice way of
That's
asking.
a very nice way of
asking.
asking.
I mean, we already addressed the question.
Yeah, we addressed that.
A very nice way of putting it. Thank you.
Yeah. What's the last thing that really excited you and the last thing that really challenged you? You can answer individually or as a couple. Let's answer individually. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really nice one. You shoot first.
What's the last thing that really excited you? And okay, so definitely the membership, bringing the membership together and having all the different components. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you have an entrepreneur chat that you can go on. And if you're somebody who's in a 9-to-5 or a homemaker and you have other personal or spiritual goals, you can go on that 90-day plan. So I think developing that has been really interesting. very excited about bringing that to life. And the last thing that challenged me would actually be, I have a client who has been challenging me for a very long time, but this week in particular, we did 3 big system overalls all at once. And I think being able to emotionally regulate during that time has been a very big challenge, because to not crash out.
Rice.
Yo, come right back here, but no. Alright, so bad.
Smell burn. Maybe just take it off.
Yeah, just turn it off.
To be figured out.
Yeah, to be the rest figure out after. So yeah, so definitely that has been very challenging, because her businesses, there's a lot going on, and then I have to run my business plus the other businesses that I manage. So that has been very challenging this week in particular. Last thing that excited you and last thing that challenged you.
So work is a challenge every day.
Yeah.
And the day is just going to the night, and the night going to the next day, and next thing you know, you're on for the weekend. So it's been rough on this rotation. It's still challenging me. It has always challenged me. It probably will always challenge me until I'm finished.
Every day is challenging, huh?
Every day is challenging. Some days worse than others, but that's a persistent problem. I think though what really excited me last week, was it late last week?
Yeah.
We had a workshop. The Association of Surgeons in Jamaica had a resident workshop where we did some laparoscopic training. Dr. O.D. Thomas, the real G.
Big up yourself.
Big up yourself, Orion. He had come by and he was teaching us how to use the laparoscope to do a special type of hernia repair called a tap repair. And honestly, guys, in that moment, operating and just feeling like I'm doing what I really love to do, and I'm making strides, honing the craft of becoming a surgeon. It was just so exciting and so exhilarating. And I remember coming home and I was just like, babe, I'm exhausted. But today was such a good day, and I think I want to be a surgeon again.
Yeah, this happens once every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, he hates it. I don't know if this is what I want to do, and then something like this happens. And he's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, and I'm just like, guess you're sticking it out.
Alright, is there a little one on the way? No. No little one on the way. What are you doing to maintain your walk with Christ as a couple?
That's a very good question. And I won't tell you that we're not struggling, because we certainly are struggling. From time to time, we sit and we have a little conversation about these kinds of stuff, but largely we haven't been prioritizing family worship, admittedly, because we just haven't had a lot of overlap of available time. We find that I get home sometimes really late, and when I'm home, Zara's knocked out or her brain has already locked off. She goes to bed religiously around 10 o'clock, but then she's up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm fighting to get out of bed by 6 o'clock to get to work at 7. So there hasn't been a lot of overlap, but on the mornings that we do have some overlap, we have a short worship together, and I'm sometimes bobbing in and out, but I really value those moments. And I especially love that, we continue to pray for each other and try to make it through this journey. As I said, I won't pretend like it has been smooth sailing. We've largely been having to do most of our studying on our own. But I think one of the things that always gets me going though is when Zara just reminds me that, I'm praying for you. And I do too. I don't know if I remind her enough that I'm praying for her, but I do pray for her a lot too.
Yeah, I think we're in a season now where what our spiritual life requires is us as individuals trying to be as strong as we can.
Yeah.
And I think, especially because our lives were so interwoven for long, and that's why we had to move to Kingston, by the way, because basically the demands that Zandre's job has on him right now, if I was in Mobile, I would be pretty maybe livid, like depressed or very isolating, because I didn't really have that much of a community in Mobile other than Raheem and Danny, who we miss so much.
They came to look for us a couple
we
weeks
miss
ago.
Raheem and
really
Danny so much, but we didn't really have a community in Mobile other than them, and they have jobs and lives, obviously. So being back in Kingston and having the ability to have a little bit kind of being back in a familiar space, and I go to church sometimes I have to go to church alone, or hanging out with friends and having Bible study and just having those conversations has been really, really good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a season now where sometimes I'm at 60% and Zandri's at 40, or Zandri's at 70 and I'm at 30. And we have to be really leaning on each other a lot in ways where usually it's a very strong core, like together, you know. So that's been a very interesting, because when you're married and you become one, a lot of things that you do shift, and you're not really. Then both of you kind of pour into each other in a way. You know, you get what I mean? You understand? I know I'm not articulating very well, but it feels a lot like, yes, as a family, we try to do what we can, but just our situations force us to not be able to do that. So right now, we just have to be trying to do what we can in our individual spaces.
Which, agreed, you know, is kind of the priority now. But I also want to establish that that's not sustainable for us building a family.
No.
And we're not naive to that reality. Yeah. So why don't we have kids yet? That sounds like somewhere you want to be raising kids. I don't think so. You know, and we have to be real with ourselves to say we have some groundwork to do. You know, as a family and as a household, and that's one of them. Yeah. That hopefully, as we get through this season. Because we're passing the exam at the end of this year.
Right, and Zan gets better because after he finishes his first 2 years, he's no longer a junior resident, which means that it still will be very difficult, but we might have a little less load.
Right, so like the duties and so on probably won't be as bad. I'll be able to spend a little bit more time at home while on call and so on. So
we hope. So pray for us.
We hope.
We got a message from Vess.
Oh my goodness, hi Vess. It's been so long. She says, I feel like a stalker. Are you guys okay? I've been so concerned. Oh gosh.
What's been going on? Why the break? Can you give Jet a shout out?
Big up
yourself, Jet. Okay.
Wait, when was Jet's birthday again? Did we miss it this year?
We definitely missed it this year.
It's a whole year.
We haven't been on YouTube for so long. Where is on school wise?
At the end of first year.
At the end of first year.
1 out of 6 down.
So July marks his end of first year. No.
Well, the end of June is the end of first year.
And then July 1st we'll start second year. Which
year.
is amazing to us. Yeah. But I was like, that's why I'm like, time I go fly by soon. I'm gonna soon get the baby one I want, and it would all work out. Just give it some time, yeah?
Take the time.
Let's give it a good time. And then what have you been up to, Zara? I've been up to a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
I've been up to a lot of stuff, as you'll see in this video. And what are the new updates? What new has been happening in our lives other than different endeavors that Zara tries to do?
So we've been setting up the studio that we used to live in Montego Bay.
Oh yes.
To set that up as an Airbnb.
So if you ever want to stay in our Airbnb, as soon as the link is ready, we're going to add it to the description here. Yeah. And if not, you can just DM me or email us, and it's a small, like 1-bedroom flat. That's where we were living. So it's gonna be called. No, we're not gonna call it XYZ Studio to be corny, but yeah, we're setting that up.
Sure, we're gonna call it.
We don't sure we're gonna call it yet, but
to you. Yeah, we're like literally on the brink. We've had our first beta clients actually, and they've given us feedback. Still need to have that detailed meeting with them. But more or less it's set up. So we just need to get the photos now and get the listing going. But we've been working on that in the background. And apart from that, it's just work.
Apart from that, it's just work. Then we did the brunch. Then is all these new business. Zandre started a business too, Jamaica Surgical Concierge.
But I'll tell you guys about that when I'm actually, like, don't go following the page. Like, pretend it doesn't exist. I'll tell you more about it when I'm in a place to actually deliver the service properly, which might be around the end of next year. Who knows? Or if I get somebody who wants to.
End of next year.
Yeah, I really think end of next year. For your sake and mine. and the household's sake. We can't take on any more load now. But I've been doing the groundwork in the background just to make sure that foundation is laid. So when it's time to roll it out, it's good to go. Yeah. So don't go following the picture.
We've started eating better. I started going to Pilates. Sure. We've been doing getting a little bit more fitness in. So
yeah, realize I'm not as small as before, especially on this rough rotation. I've been eating.
That's debatable. All right. And how's school going? How's school? How's school going for Zandre?
Why? Still I try to figure out the studying, guys. I'm done. I feel so done.
You're not. You're so smart. I tell you that all the time.
Yeah.
I think you underestimate yourself too much.
To be honest,
of it, you don't want to overestimate yourself and fail the exam.
No, because not do another year.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of carving out the time to study. This year I did most of the rougher rotations for DM1. Sorry, that might mean nothing to you in real life, but basically this year was a rougher year than I'm expecting second year to be. I'm expecting to get more studying done in second year. I'm learning a thing or two here and there, but I really need to try to get some more studying in, which is the plight of every resident, to be honest. So I'm not unique in that regard. However, that is the nature of the game.
Yeah. How has marriage been?
It's had its ups and downs, but honestly, I wouldn't
At the
want to
best
do
part of my life.
this. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do this single. like I really would not want to do this as a single man. And life is hard.
Life is hard.
But I wouldn't say marriage is hard.
You know, people say marriage is like the hardest thing, and life is hard, and we've had some really tough moments, and I'm pretty sure that we may have even more tough moments, because that's just how life is.
Yeah.
But even though it's been rough, you've been the best part of it for me.
Oh baby, you too.
And I mean, it's like, you know, a lot of things have been different, and obviously we're not the newlyweds that you met. A lot has changed, things have shifted. Oh, good updates. I stopped practicing law altogether. That's the first time I'm saying this publicly. So I don't take any cases anymore. I'm a fully entrepreneur now. I put entrepreneur on my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't put lawyer anymore. I don't accept. When I get cases, I give them over to my friends. And, you know, that's been very empowering, because I think it was a clutch.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah, I'm a lawyer. Absolutely, yes I am. But also, I have a business that pays me every single month. Better than any law firm, period.
but back to the marriage question though.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that it's been blissful in terms of the honeymoon bliss, but it's almost like we're not letting go of the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like, I still get all googly-eyed when I see her, and you know, I look forward to coming home and hugging her up, and it's when I'm having a really, 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 really tough day, and Zara messages and she goes, hey, you're alive, just checking in, something like that, it still puts a smile on my face. Aww. And I get a little hit of, you can do this just by coming home, even for 10 minutes.
That's true.
Like, if I come home just to get a hug and she say, you want a glass of water? I can go back out. Like, if I get a call at that point, I can go back out and I can go and try to be the best, you know, doctor I possibly can be. But then if I'm at work for like 36 hours going on, it's almost like I just want to go home and see my wife and just hug her up, and then make the puppy come jump up on my leg and scratch me up, and you know, so all in all, it's been good. Yeah. That's been one consistently good thing.
Yeah, and you when you marry somebody who you like,
no, that's important.
I like you at baseline. You're my best friend. Other than you're my best human friend, right?
But
he's my best pet friend.
Okay.
But you're my best human friend. So I genuinely like him, and because I genuinely like him, I enjoy spending time with him. But I also just enjoy supporting him. So I think for me, even though marriage has had difficult patches, it's still the best part of my life. And there's nothing about marriage I regret at all. I do regret his job, and I wish he liked something else. I pray to God every day, like I said, God, you couldn't make him like to be a banker. Why never make him have a business or boss? From him, like, you know, long as I'm try boss, this man.
And then what keeps on getting in the way?
Medicine. Every single time. But you know what? What I'm comforted by is when people DM me all the time, Zara, your husband take care of my father, my sister, my uncle, my auntie. Hey, me see your husband at the hospital, he's such a good doctor, and I know that God called you to this industry and this field. And because of that, it keeps me going, and because I know that they need more doctors like you in the world. And when it's a divine calling, it's not something that you can just push aside. You have to answer the calling, you have to step into this. So that keeps me, and then I know that if I can support you, we'll be finished faster.
Well, if we can get faster than 6 years worth.
A ball like a ball?
No, ball, me just say, you know.
So why your eye tear?
At the onion, remember the time when we cut up the onion?
Whenever I cut up the onion.
But yesterday
But I want to also say that Zandra is such a good husband, and a lot of people lose their, and we'll get a little deep here, because a lot of people lose their marriages in residency. A lot of people lose their relationships in residency, and it's because it takes so much from you. And when you're not able to pour into the other person, over time the other person, one day bucket go well, the bottom have to drop out. I say gonna show?
No, every day bucket. Every day. A bucket or pan.
One of them.
But something. Or basket. No, basket can't carry water. But something go well all the time.
Baby,
and,
you are crying. But yeah, so it's like a lot of people lose their relationships, and we've seen it. We've seen a lot of consultants who have finished the program, and when the end of the program comes, they don't have a life. And it's because it feels as if they chose the profession over their marriage.
Like, I even know people who are really, really good people.
And good doctors.
And great doctors who get married at the start of residency and they're divorced by the end of residency.
Yeah.
And like, can't lose this. Like, this is the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
And if it means not doing residency, I'd opt out. Which is why I guess I started getting teary-eyed when she started to talk about how people are saying, you know, I'm a good doctor and them like me, I'm gonna take care of them people. And then I'm trying to know, what you call the word there, reconcile that with also trying to come home and be present when I am home. And knowing that sometimes I'm at home trying to study and I see somebody send a message in our study group and say, education, what going on, what we studying today? And I'm just like, I'm studying sitting on my couch with my wife and attempt to have a conversation. That's what I'm studying. Not reading anything, not spending extra time in the operating theater, not going to do some other thing on the ward. I'm trying to be home, you know? So somehow trying to find that balance. I think for first year, I perhaps spent more time on the trying to be a family man side of it. I tried really hard because it's a very real possibility to lose my marriage in residency because I see it happening around me, and I'm actively trying to guard against that. And I know fully well that for second year, which is exam year, you know, so that you can cross over into DM2, I know that that balance is probably going to be tilted in the other direction. And that's kind of scary, I must admit. It's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. But somehow I trust God will give us the strength to figure that out.
Yeah. And I think too, that last part, that God will give you the strength, because we believe that God put us together for a purpose. Yeah. And we also know that one, our marriage is a ministry, but also when He will make you, He will make me, and then He will say we for be.
Oh no, you have no one there.
Yeah, but we've committed our marriage over to God, and He will figure it out. He has done it for people in the past. He definitely will do it for us, and I think that He will be on our side. So we'll continue to press through, continue to push through. But yes, marriage is great. We're trying our very best to preserve it. We've done a lot of work as individuals, and we've done a lot of work as a couple. And yeah, we have disagreements here and there. We don't have arguments. I don't think we've ever had an argument. We've been married for 3 years, and yeah, 3 years on a whole heap of time. But we've worked a lot on emotional regulation and learning how to deal with people and pride and all of those things. Like, we've learned a lot, and I think we're very good together. We work very well together.
Before we argue, we're going to say,
we need
all
some
right,
time.
Let's just cool down, think about this, and we'll pick it up in the morning. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll say, cool. And I'll say, all right, good chat.
Yeah.
We'll go sleep in the same bed.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll up. We just don't talk, you know, for like an hour until we drop asleep and wake up and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and it's never really anything big. Probably by morning we're not even talking about it because we realize this is even worth it.
Zara always want to talk about it. Maybe it's not Jay, but me I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is actually very true. But it's never really been anything big.
Yeah,
you know? I actually am not thinking about anything right now.
Yeah,
that
we never
actively.
Yeah, we don't.
Major. We disagree on things all the time, as two people do.
Our biggest issue are the work. You see, if Zandra have a different work, blissful.
But Zandra has tried other work.
Yeah, I never work.
It never worked.
Because it impacts a lot of our lives. It impacts our church life because we can't consistently go to any church. I don't like going to church by myself. So it impacts that a lot. It impacts plans that we can make with people. It impacts things that we can do. It impacts travel. It impacts a lot of stuff. So that has been our biggest thing. But other than that, marriage.
I have probably about 4 to 6 messages on my phone right now. No, I have a lot more than that, messages in general, but 4 to 6 different people who are asking me if I can come to their church at some point in whether the near or distant future.
We just can't see.
And I just haven't gotten to them because I need to explain to them what I mean by I won't know if I'm getting that day off until probably the week before that day. And even if I get in the day off might start at 8 a.m. You know? I might be at work until 8 or maybe 10. You know, so
you might work the whole Friday night.
I might work the whole. So I really genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that has also weighed on us a bit. For example, traveling. I mentioned it a while ago. Zara has done maybe about 3 trips to the US without me in the past year.
Yeah, but and I did Mexico by myself.
And Mexico, that may have been one of the 3. But you know, she has done a couple of trips without me. I mean, I miss her. I really miss her when she's gone. But Yo-Yo keeps my company. Although there was a time.
When we did camera daycare?
Well, no, we did bring him for daycare one time, but there was a time when I did.
You lock him up in a bathroom.
It wasn't. It was accident, guys. I promise, and I hope he has forgiven me. Yeah. But I did accidentally lock him up in the bathroom. I never realized he was in there, and I came back 48 hours later and.
Yeah, I'm not leaving my dog with Zandra again if it's not extended. I'm always say, yo, I'm my dog and he misbehave. Yeah, because I'm kind of spoiled. But anyways, those are the questions. Yeah. That was so much fun.
It really was.
We hope to see you somewhere on the internet. As I said, we don't know what our YouTube posting would look like. We were just trying to figure it out. So just bear with us as we try to figure it out. Whenever we cross your mind, whisper a word of prayer for us, because most times maybe we just have to try survive.
Yeah.
Any final words?
Yeah, there's coming a day. You know, there's coming a day when we'll get back to our adventures and we'll have a lot more to share.
Adventures will look different, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, very different. I don't know if we're going to be sleeping on a lot of floors again. And, you know, like floors in the airport and that kind of stuff. You know, which is one of the reasons why we were so keen on doing that in our pre-kids.
In our early, we are late 20s now, guys.
Oh my goodness, we're
big
old
people. You know, when I started YouTube, I was maybe 20 or 21, somewhere in that age there. Yeah, 20 or 21.
That's actively scary. That means we've been doing this for almost a decade.
I've been doing this for almost a decade. You, right? Because remember, say you were always. I think you started showing up maybe 5 years ago or so. Before that, because you came on as my boyfriend when was COVID? 2020? In 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's a long time.
So we're in the late 20s now, which means that we hope to start traveling more luxuriously. We hope to buy another property. I send properties to Zandra every day and like him. I say, we don't just buy this, but we want a bigger one. Okay, so those are the things that we have our eyes on, and we go driving up in Norbrook and Millsboro and what other place we like go?
Jax
Hill, and yeah, I go up there and we drive and we look at the place them even behind uptown because I need to work, right? And if I ever feel demotivated, we just go for a drive out because those are the things that motivate me. I mean, we need the nanny and the private chef, all of it I want, all of it.
That's literally been our go out. For the past month, every day
So
that
come-
I've gotten
come up and
like
just-
a little day, half a day, I come home and I'm not falling asleep, or I had a good duty last night.
I
or
don't need much.
Zara goes, can we go for a drive out?
We just gonna look for
We just
a
go
house
look for a
then.
house and we're just like, there's
Oh,
coming
like
a
that.
day. That one is
Oh,
nice.
that one, it's on that one. They look refurbished. That's all we've been
Yeah.
doing. My realtor Audrey, thanks for dealing with me sometimes. I say, Audrey, can you get me a showing for this? I remember the last thing we showed Audrey. Audrey says, Zara, you cannot live there. It's too far. So I say, Audrey, why I can't live there? Audrey said, that's for people who work from home or people who, on the Airbnb. I was like, oh. She's like, so I said, unfortunately, I do not live by myself. Because I work from home.
Yeah.
It was such a nice complex. But anyways, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
If you are a young person and you're watching this, I really hope that somewhere along the line you're motivated by whatever chaos. I don't think it's rough, it's tough, right? But you will figure it out. We've been doing a decent enough job at figuring it out as the day go by. We literally take life one day at a time.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Nobody has it all answered. See, we're still not on the TV. You see? We're still not on the TV, and some people feel like they couldn't live without a TV. And we've been, this is our third year. Fun fact, this is our third year without a TV. We've never owned a TV before.
Not in university.
And we in the late 20s. So, I mean, yeah, we own property and stuff, but we don't own a TV. So, I just think that you need to focus on the things that add value to your life and press.
Yeah.
Never give up. Keep on pushing. If you're a young woman in business, especially, join a bad. You will not regret it. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Take care. Oh, anything again?
So we'll see you next time on Adventures of XYZ. Bye, guys.